Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss the first module of strategic management, which is assigned to me. And let me begin with an introduction. The word strategy has been derived from the Greek word strategos, which means a military leader or a general. And strategy literally means the art and science of directing a military force in the battlefield or in the war. But in the business context, it means or it describes how an organization is going to achieve its overall objectives, or it is concerned with deciding about which alternative is to be adopted throughout in order to accomplish the overall objective of the organization. And strategy is a general plan to achieve one or more long-term or overall goals under conditions of uncertainty. It is a tactical course of action which is designed to achieve the long-term objectives, and it is an art and a science of planning and marshalling resources for their most efficient and effective use in a changing environment. That means a strategy is a long-term course of action which is designed to achieve the overall objectives or long-term objectives of the organization. And it is the blueprint. It is nothing but that itself is the blueprint that indicates the courses of action to be adopted in order to achieve the overall objectives of the organization. That is what is strategy. A strategy always tries to answer three important questions. That is, what is the present position of the firm? What should be the future position of the firm? And what should be done to attain the future position? It is the responsibility of the top management to formulate and implement the strategy in the organization, and to ensure the smooth functioning of the strategy within the organization, as the strategy once formulated has long-term implications on the business firm, and it may be called as the game plan of the management. And it involves a large allocation of large amount of resources, and it is always future oriented. And the management has to take into account of the external environmental factors to the maximum possible extent while designing the strategy. There are many definitions to strategy. Two of the very inclusive definitions of strategy are given here. As for Gluck, strategy is unified, comprehensive and integrated plan relating to the strategic advantages of the firm to the challenges of the environment. It is designed to ensure that the basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved. And one more definition is there, which is framed by Alfred D. Chandler. Strategy is determination of basic long-term goals and objectives of an enterprise, and the adoption of the course of action and the allocation of resources necessary for carrying out these goals. These are the two very important definitions of strategy. Next is features of strategy. First feature is strategy is objective oriented. Strategy is objective oriented in the sense the strategies are always developed in order to achieve the overall objectives of the organization. So the management has to take into account, or they must be well determined about the objectives that are to be pursued, and also the policies that must be followed in the organization. That is the first feature of strategy. It is objective oriented. And strategy is future oriented. Strategy is future oriented in the sense it is designed to attain the future objectives of the organization, or it always tries to find out a better position in the future. So management should study the present position of the organization, and should aim at the attainment of the desired future position of the organization in the coming days. Next point is strategy is unified, comprehensive and integrated. The strategy is unified in the sense it is a unified course of action, and it always unifies all parts of the sections of the organizations together, and it is comprehensive in the sense that it covers all the major areas of the organization and all the major aspects of the organization, and it is integrated in the sense it always integrates all the parts of the plan that are compatible with each other, and the strategy has to ensure that it fit together with all the necessities of the organization. Next feature is strategy alternatives. An organization has to an organization has to develop alternative strategies in order to ensure the growth and survival of the organization, and a one size fits all strategy cannot be implemented in the organization, as it may not hold good in the long run. And the next point is it relates to the environment. The internal and external environment of the organization has to be taken into consideration, as it affects the success of the organization. So the strategy formulation and implementation must be done only after evaluating the internal and the external environment of the organization. And the internal environment of the organization includes the mission, vision and objectives of the organization, and the technology used within the organization, and the physical and financial or human resources of the organization, etc. While moving to the external environment, it is concerned with the competition and the potential customers, channels of intermediaries, government policies, and political barriers, etc. Then allocation of resources, that is the next feature of strategy. For the effective implementation of strategy, there is a need for proper allocation of the resources, as it involves the utilization of large amount of scarce resources. Next feature is strategy has universal applicability. The strategy is universally applicable in the sense it is applicable to both business organizations as well as to non-business organization, and it's because every organization needs to frame strategies for the growth and survival of their survival, and every organization is always directed towards, or they are functioning in order to achieve their preset or predetermined overall objectives of the organization. So strategy is very essential for each and every organization, whether they are profitable organization or non-profitable organization, to achieve their overall objectives. Next feature is strategy needs to be revised periodically. It means the strategy has to be revised periodically in order to cope up with the changing needs of the business or organization, and as the business environment or the external environment is more dynamic, it has to be reframed accordingly. And the last feature of strategy is it is applicable to all the functional areas. The strategies are applicable to all the functional areas, like the production area, marketing, financing, and then human resources management, and so on. And it helps in the planning, organizing, directing and coordinating activities of all these functional areas. So these are the various features of strategy. Thank you.